The file landed on my desk with a thud. It was a dead-end case, a pro bono disaster, a career killer. A young woman, Elena Vance, was accused of corporate espionage, stealing secrets from a tech giant, Omnicorp. The evidence was overwhelming. Emails, keycard logs, a witness. Every senior partner at the firm had passed on it. They saw a losing battle, a waste of billable hours, but I saw something else. I saw a spotlight. I saw the headline. Unknown attorney topples Goliath. This was my chance to stop being the guy who fetched coffee and start being the guy who made partners nervous. My ambition was a fire in my gut. I didn't just want to be a lawyer, I wanted to be the lawyer. The one they talked about in hushed, reverent tones. The one whose name was synonymous with victory. My small apartment was wallpapered with clippings of legendary trial attorneys. I studied their closing arguments like scripture. I mimicked their courtroom mannerisms in front of my bathroom mirror. This case was not just about justice, it was the audition of a lifetime. My name, Jack Riley, was going to be in lights. Ambition burns brightest in the dark. Elena Vance was quiet, frightened. She insisted she was innocent, framed. But there was a tremor in her voice, a desperate sincerity I couldn't dismiss. The first few weeks were a brutal slog through discovery. Mountains of digital paperwork, endless strings of code I couldn't decipher. Omnicorp's legal team was a legion of sharks, motions, objections, procedural roadblocks. They were trying to bleed me dry, to make me give up. Every night I'd leave after the city slept, eyes burning. The initial fire of ambition felt like a slow, painful burn. The evidence against Elena was a fortress, but then, a crack appeared. A single data entry that didn't align. Log said she accessed files at 10:17, but her badge exited at 10:14. She couldn't be in two places at once. Not much, a 3-minute window, but it was a thread. I was going to pull it until it unraveled. Following that thread sent me down a rabbit hole. I hired a digital forensics expert. He owed me a favor. He dove into Omnicorp's servers with unsettling ease. He found fragments, deleted emails from Marcus Thorne, encrypted messages to a competitor. A pattern emerged. Thorne wasn't framing Elena, he was the real spy, using my client as a digital scapegoat. The case exploded. Suddenly I wasn't just defending, I was on the attack. I had leverage. I had a secret. Knowledge felt like a weapon in my hands. The pull of the spotlight grew. Justice was nice, but victory was the real prize. Presenting my findings to Omnicorp's lead counsel was a moment of pure triumph. The deleted emails, the server logs, proof that Marcus Thorne was the traitor. I expected them to fold. Instead, their lead attorney, Gavin Price, looked amused. He told me I had no idea what I was messing with. The warning was clear: drop it. The threats started subtly. My car tires were slashed, a brick through my window. Some secrets should stay buried. I started looking over my shoulder. They were trying to scare me off, to protect Thorne. But why? Why would a massive corporation protect a man betraying them? The more they pushed, the more I dug. Fear was a motivator. The competitor wasn't a competitor. It was a shell company, secretly owned by Omnicorp. A complex, illegal scheme to manipulate the market, to crush smaller rivals. Thorne wasn't a traitor. He was following orders. Elena was the sacrifice. The whole case was a lie. Built to protect a conspiracy at the very top. My ethical compass was spinning. Duty to my client, and evidence of a massive criminal enterprise that could become a landmark case. The question wasn't just about winning, it was about surviving. How far would I go? The price of truth was rising, and then the phone rang. Gavin Price called me for a private meeting, no lawyers, no witnesses. He slid a folder across the table. The offer was breathtaking. He didn't threaten me, he tempted me. Omnicorp is prepared to drop all charges against Miss Vance, he said. She walks away, exonerated, no trial, no record. She gets her life back. They would orchestrate the narrative. New evidence uncovered by Jack Riley, TV interviews, magazine profiles. Then he named a number, a consulting fee to make me a millionaire overnight. All I had to do was bury the real story. On one side, justice, exposing corruption, holding the powerful accountable, tearing down the whole rotten structure, but the path was dangerous. I could lose everything, my career, maybe more. My ambition screamed at me, fame, wealth, the career I dreamed of, handed to me on a silver platter. The story would be a lie, a carefully constructed fiction, but Elena would be free. Wasn't my duty to my client? I could rationalize it. The devil's bargain was on the table. I had to decide if I was going to shake his hand. Some lights burn you if you get too close. The day of the hearing arrived. The courtroom was packed. Reporters scribbled. Omnicorp's army sat, confident. Gavin Price gave me a knowing nod. He believed my ambition had won. I stood up. The judge looked down at me.
Mr. Riley, do you have a statement before the proceedings begin?
This was it. The moment of truth. I looked at Elena, at Gavin, and then at the judge. Your Honor, the prosecution has presented a case built on a foundation of lies. The room trembled. Gavin's smile vanished. Miss Vance is the victim of a calculated frame job, concealing a conspiracy orchestrated by Omnicorp's leadership. I submitted the server logs, the recovered emails, the entire web of shell companies. I chose justice, the ugly, the difficult, the dangerous truth. The fallout was immediate. Elena's case dismissed. Federal investigators swarmed Omnicorp, executives indicted. The stock plummeted. The media storm was bigger than I imagined. But the narrative was different. I wasn't just a clever lawyer, I was a whistleblower, famous not for winning but for refusing to play the game. Ambition took me to the edge. Purpose pulled me back. The drive to do what's right. That's the only victory that matters.